Hey guys, my name's Oscar from the Power to Change Summer Project student leadership team. We want to say that we really miss worshipping with you guys. That's been such an important experience in previous years. But we want to also thank you. We've been using the church a lot for our trainings, learning how to share our faith, and also making disciples and things like that. And then at night time, we've been heading down to Surfers Paradise, doing outreach, checking in with the schoolies to see how they're doing. And here are just a couple stories from us out at outreach.
We were sitting over praying for another group in their interaction when I noticed sitting nearby a guy called Jacko sitting just watching the ocean. And I felt like God was definitely driving me to talk to him. But first things first, we had the conversation to end, then we went to the toilet, and then after that we had to wait for Jacko to get off the phone. But after that, we were finally able to get into a conversation. However, the conversation didn't start very well. He wasn't really being very responsive, and I think it took us a while to sort of get onto the topic of Christianity. But once we finally did, it was like a light had been turned on, because he was really responsive and he was asking some amazing questions.
So it was such an encouraging conversation then, because from that point on, by the end of the night, we'd spent over an hour talking to him. We got to lay out the whole gospel for him, the good news about what Jesus had done for him, and invite him to make a response to that. And he had lots of questions along the way that he suddenly thought of once we got to that point. We were able to address those, which was super fun for us, and I think really helped him. He seemed to really be thinking about that and taking it on board. We were able to get his contact details for follow-up. He's actually just finished his first year at the same uni as us up in Brisbane, so it should be really easy to catch up with him again to keep processing through those things. But I guess it was so encouraging to see how God moved through a conversation where even he seemed quite apathetic initially, disinterested, and by the end, after God's moving in his heart, he was suddenly so interested to hear the good news. I guess the last encouraging thing for me was how God used us in our weakness over the night. We were quite tired as we were praying for the girls before the conversation, so hopefully that can be an encouragement to you as well about, even if you're not feeling at your best, how God can use you to extend his kingdom.
A few nights ago, my team and I were at Surfers Paradise looking for conversations, and we decided to go down onto the beach. And as soon as we hit the sand, two boys came running up to us and started a conversation themselves, and it quickly moved onto God and who Jesus was. And the two guys in my team, Christian and Joe, they started a conversation with one boy who'd been doing some religion classes and was really open to hearing about the gospel. And they just started sharing some points of the gospel with him when he realized he'd lost his phone. And so he dragged his friend along, and we helped him try and find his phone in the sand for about 20 minutes, but we soon realized that it was taking too long and we had to move on to other conversations, so we left them. But about 2 or 3 hours later, we were in the same area and we found the same boy, and we said, "Hey, have you found your phone yet?" And he looked really sad. He was like, "No, I haven't. I've been searching this area for the past hour." And so we continued to try and help him find his phone. While Joe and Christian were in a conversation, Emma and I also prayed for the boy that he would be able to find his phone. But then we had to leave as it was time to go home. But then 2 nights later, we were at the beach and we saw him again. We were like, "Oh, hey, have you found your phone yet?" And he ran up and he hugged me and he said, "Yes, I found it. Thank you so much for praying. I think your prayers really made a difference." And that was so encouraging to both Emma and I, because we'd been asking the whole team to pray for him that he might find his phone and that God would answer his prayer. So that was really encouraging for us. I hope that this story is also encouraging for you guys. And I just want to thank you so much for all your support and your prayers.